What it do, H-Town? What it do? On today's rundown, what position battles will be the Houston Texans' most intriguing position battles during camp? And who should win out? Should they cut some guys? Should they still take another look in free agency, bring in some more guys? What should Nick Caserio do to continue to further bolster this roster? H-Town, get your listening ears ready, strap up your boots, and let's go.
Hey, Houston fans, I am so happy.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? I was born for this. Look, every Sunday, whenever we play, I get that text. Are you ready?
Texas!
The pitch. And Altuve hits it in the air pretty deep to left. Carter is back at the wall, leaves, and it is gone! It's gone! How do you like that?
One game at a time.
Green still with it. Gets it back, lets it fly, and got it!
Win on two, 1-2.
Welcome back, H-Town. Welcome back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a few minutes here on Everything H-Town Sports Debate Show. I'm your dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV, and like always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that notification bell when your boy drop his latest flame in the latest Houston Texans, Houston Astros, and Houston Rockets news. But on to the topic at hand. What position battles in Houston Texans camp that will be the most intriguing?
Anything, Porky?
And it's a couple that I have in mind, baby, and I'm ready to touch it. But my number one most intriguing position battle is the defensive back position. Not just the DB, not just the cornerbacks, but the safeties as well. That is going to continue to be interesting to me because they brought in Kalen Bullock to compete with either Jimmy Ward or to compete with Jalen Petrie. And then they also brought in Kamari Lassiter, which was their first second-round pick and their first pick in the draft. They brought him in, I believe, to compete with C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah. A lot of people think he's going to bump inside, but I watched some of this boy tape and highlight films, and he's more than capable of sticking with, I'm talking about top-notch receivers who were drafted in the first round in this year's NFL draft. So I believe this DB camp battle is going to be very interesting, man. Somebody is either going to get cut or somebody's going to get benched. But the first position that I want to touch on is the cornerback position because Kamari Lassiter was our second round pick, 42 overall. Yeah, he's the 42nd pick overall. So he was our first pick of this year's draft, I believe, because we didn't have a first round pick. So Kamari Lassiter, come on down. You was the first guy that we drafted. And you're going to be competing with C.J. Henderson, who we just brought in, and Jeff Okudah, who we just brought in as well. And both of those guys in the 2020 NFL draft was top 10 picks. I believe they went in the top 9, actually. So both of those guys have the talent, man. Those guys are top 10 talents, but they haven't performed like it. Actually, they have performed more closely being bust.
Watch your mouth!
Than they have been top 10 picks. And both of these guys, I believe, have been on 2 teams prior to the Houston Texans. So this is their third opportunity. But you know what they say about first round picks? Somebody feel like they can fix them. Somebody feel like they had a bad break and they can bring them in because they were first round talents. But like I stated earlier, Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson in the same draft. I think Jeff Okudah was number 3rd overall, and C.J. Henderson to the Jacksonville Jaguars went number 9th overall. So both of those guys were top 10 picks. And now here comes Kamari Lassiter, second round pick, 42nd pick overall by the Houston Texans. And I believe Nick Caserio wouldn't have picked that guy high if him and DeMeco Ryans, if they didn't expect for him to compete and to push both of these cornerbacks. And if the veterans win, the veterans win. But I think Kamari Lassiter, in the confidence that he has, and the ability that he has, I believe he's going to push these guys to the brink, and I believe he could end up starting. I know a lot of people is down on I guess his 40 time. His 40 time has been, because he really didn't get any set 40 time because he didn't run it at the combine, but they saying anywhere from a 4.5, a 4.55 or something like that, all the way up to a 4.67. Now, a 4.67, that's kind of concerning, but when you look at this guy, cover the top-notch receivers at Georgia, this guy does not look like he runs a 4.67 nothing. So a 4.51, you can do it. Richard Sherman was a guy who locked guys down with that number, and he ran it at the combine. So if he's anywhere from a 4.51 to a 4.55, he's doable, because the guy, he has a short burst speed. Like, the dude can just recover. He has great recovery speed, similar to Stingley, but Stingley is a blazer, but he can recover. He stay in great position. He uses his hand well. That press man corner, he's excellent at doing that, and DeMeco Ryans like to do that. Nick Caserio, DeMeco Ryans run some zone, but if he's in a zone, most likely he's going to have safety help behind him, so he can get even more physical with these guys and take even more risk. But Kamari Lassiter is here to push. I don't believe he's here to compete with Desmond King and be pushed into like a slot corner position. I'm not really sure if he does compete with Desmond King. He can push him as well, but I think they brought him, DeMeco Ryans, here to be a boundary cornerback and be a guy who can play for years to come opposite Derek Stingley. Like I said, I'm not really sure. Nick Caserio, he could have easily traded up and got Kool-Aid McKinstry and got the other guy from Iowa. He could have easily traded up, but he sat still, he sat Patton, and he let Kamari Lassiter fall to him. So obviously they had to love what the guy brought to the table, because if not, they would have traded up and went and got something better. I know we got Kool-Aid went one pick before Kamari, but I believe the guy, by watching him, he's very physical. He almost runs the route. He almost sticks to the route like he's a receiver. He's a good tackler, good tackler. He only had one interception in his collegiate career. That's kind of concerning, but he has a lot of PBUs. He's always around the ball, but I kind of like a guy that's a ball hawk that can get more than one interception, one INT in his career. But I think he's gonna compete with Jeff Okudah, because I believe Jeff Okudah probably only had like 2 in his NFL career, which is crazy, 2 or 3, and no, he has 2, and then C.J. Henderson has 3, and these guys been in the league pushing 4 years, so it's not easy to get INTs, especially when you're playing against the best. But like I stated earlier, I seen Kamari Lassiter. He competed with the best of them, man. He competed with the legit guy, something like that. He got drafted 32nd overall. He went to the Carolina Panthers, but this guy was a 4.3 speed, big body, 50-50 catch guy, legit, whatever his name, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it right, but this guy ended up being a first-round pick. And this guy, Kamari Lassiter, pretty much shut the guy down. He was on him, and that's a first-round talent, wide receiver with body, speed, all that, man. The guy has a big catch radius. I know he was there, and he was like a one-year wonder, but he ended up being a first-round pick. He had first-round talent, and Kamari Lassiter held it down. I didn't see this guy get a touchdown scored on him at all last year, and I don't think he had one scored on him the year before. He probably did when they played against C.J. Stroud, but Kamari Lassiter is a baller. He's a confident cornerback, and he's going to push C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah. So one of those guys, or both of those guys, going to have to fight. I love this battle, what Nick Caserio has done, because he's created a lot of competition. You got to bring it now on this Houston Texans roster. If you're not bringing it, if you're not competitive, dude, you're not going to make this team. It's just not going to happen. So I'm loving the competition that these guys are creating. But I think our second round pick, 42nd overall, Kamari Lassiter, is going to be in a heated position battle during camp with, like I stated earlier, Jeff Okudah and CJ Henderson for that boundary cornerback. And if he does slide in and compete with Desmond King for the nickel back, I mean, that's going to be interesting as well. But that CB, that cornerback position, whether it's the nickel back or it's the boundary cornerback, is going to be very interesting. And it's going to be heated, baby. When it's cooking and it's 105 like out there at Methodist Training Center, man, these boys out here hitting and CJ Stroud throwing dimes all around there, we're going to see who's going to be getting dead up and who's going to make the cut with this team and play opposite Derek Stingley. The other position that I like and I love that they brought this kid in, I'm very, very interested in what this kid can do. I know he's skinny, but the guy can run. He can run. He has a good IQ. He's a ball hawk. He made, I believe, 9 interceptions over his career, and that's Kalen Bullock. We brought him in the third round pick, but I believe this kid is very, very interesting. He barely turned 21, so he has a lot to grow. He can grow into his body. I believe he has like a 6'1", 6'2" frame, about 195 pounds. If you can get this guy to 205, 215, that is a monster in center field. And that guy, that's a cover corner who moved to safety, man. The guy can play corner. The guy just moved to safety. He has some tackling ability, but he's small. He missed a few tackles from the angles that he took. He can brush it up on his tackle as well. But with D'Amico Ryan's tutelage, this kid can be very, very, very dangerous, and he can help the Houston Texans in that safety core. But I don't know which safety he's going to compete with. Will it be Jalen Petrie? He's going to be in a heated position battle at the safety position. I'm not really sure where they plan on him fitting or what they want from him, but I know it's to be a cover corner. I mean safety. I know we got beat so many times over the top in so many games by the deep ball. It was ridiculous. And Jalen Petrie seemed to, he's more, I think, in the box type safety. I'm not really sure, man, but that guy, that's another position battle, excuse me, y'all, that I'm very interested in. Another position battle that I'm interested in as well. And I know, they gave him a contract extension. He has a lot of money. He's the 9th highest paid tackle in the league. That's Titus Howard. He had a hand injury. He had a knee injury, but they still, with a second round pick, brought in Blake Fisher, a tackle, man. He's a right tackle. I probably can play some, but he predominantly played right. And that could be some competition for my boy, man. My boy Titus Howard. That could be some competition, man. I know Nick Caserio saying, man, he's here to be a competitive swing tackle. You know, injuries happen. He may have to fill in. We had a lot of O-line injuries last year. But if this kid comes in here and beats out Titus Howard, then it kind of make everybody kind of question Nick's ability to, I guess, evaluate offensive linemen, because you gave Titus Howard that extension, and with that extension, man, made him the 9th highest paid right tackle in the league, and then you slide him in the guard where he was trash, boo-boo. He cannot play guard. Titus Howard is a tackle. The season that he played tackle, he was productive. I like Titus Howard at tackle. That's what we drafted him to be. He was a left tackle in college, and he played some right. He got here. He's been a right tackle. When he played opposite end of my boy He's been Laramie Tunsil. He's been very, very good at the right tackle position. I'm not saying dominant. I'm not saying an all-pro type guy. I'm not even saying Pro Bowl. But he was a solid right tackle that held it down. I believe he only allowed 1 or 2 sacks that season. So he looked very good. So that is another position battle. I know everybody like, no, Titus Howard got that. You don't know crap. You don't know nothing, because with this roster, with D'Amico Ryans and with Nick Caserio, if you beat, you beat. It matters where you come from. It matters what position. It matters what draft status you had. It matters if you was a free agent. None of that matters at all. If you get beat out at camp, you just beat out, and those guys are going to play. The best men are going to play. And I know they're going to try to give Titus Howard the benefit of the doubt because of the extension and the money that they gave this guy. But that's what. And excuse me, I remember the safety. I drew a blank, but Jimmy Ward, Kalen Bullock could be competing with either Jimmy Ward or Jalen Petrie. Excuse me, y'all, but I drew a blank with Jimmy Ward. I don't know. He may end up being a cap casualty as well. He's on the last year of his deal. His deal is, and they could save a lot of cap room and probably bring in another guy. I like the guy that's a free agent from the Broncos. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring him in, because I believe this safety position is not complete. The guys that we have behind those guys on the 2 deep, those guys can get cut as well. They're good backups, but I want to bring in as much talent as possible, because this schedule is a monstrous schedule. It's a first place schedule. It's not that cupcake schedule that we played last year. In a lot of games, I think we won by 1 point or more, whatever like that, 1 touchdown or more. It was a lot of close games, and that can always flip the opposite season. So I want to be a dominant team on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. But those are the count battles, man. The safety position, the cornerback position, and the right tackle position that I'm very, very interested in. Also, I'm going to keep my eye on the RB2 position, because we know who's the RB1, but is Damian Pierce going to get it? Is Jawar, the new guy for Louisville, I don't want to say his name wrong, but will that guy lock down a position to RB2, man? Because we already know who's the RB1. So that's another position that you just got to keep your eyes on, guys. I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TB. I wanted to talk to you guys. Y'all let me know in the comments what position battle you think is going to be interesting during camp. Everything has moved up, so camp is going to begin early. Hall of Fame game is August 1st. Everything is moving, man. We have extra preseason games, maybe an extra week or 2 of training camp. This is going to be an exciting moment. Dude, we brought in Danielle Hunter. A lot of new added pieces. So, H-Town, I'm excited. But I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TB. It's been real chopping it up with you guys, and peace.
Texas! Put some respect on our name.